This video guide is for the following questions. A map has a scale of 1 cm to 5 kilometers. If a road has a length of 6.5 cm on the map, find its actual length. I think by now most of you should be quite familiar. So if I have a map of 1 cm represents in actual 5 kilometers. So if now the road has a length of 6.5 cm on the map, it would represent 6.5 times 5 kilometers, which would give me 32.5 kilometers. So the actual length of the road is 32.5 kilometers. Now let's look at part 2. If the distance between two towns is 25 kilometers, calculate the corresponding distance on the map. So the distance that is given to us is now the actual distance. I need to find the corresponding distance on the map. So actual, I have 5 kilometers that represents on the map 1 cm. Sorry, this should be represented by. Then I have 25 kilometers. Okay, now I can see quite clearly that this is just multiplied by 5. So I will just do the same for the other side. Okay, for questions where it's not so straightforward, what is the scale factor? I would change the 5 kilometers to 1 kilometer first before changing it to the desired amount that I want. So for this, 25 kilometers is represented by 5 cm on the map. So I'll write down and answer the question. Now for the last part, we need to express the scale of the map in the form 1 over n, where n is an integer. So for part 3, I want to express as 1 over n. So 1 cm is to 5 kilometers. So I will write 1 cm is to 5 kilometers. And now, of course, before I simplify this, I have to make sure that the two values here have the same units. So I will change the kilometers to cm. So I know that 1 kilometer is 1000 meters. And in turn, 1 meter is 100 cm. So 1 kilometer would give me 100,000 cm. So I need to change the 5 kilometers to 500,000 cm. So once I have both of the values here in the same units, I can express this scale as 1 over 500,000. So n is 500,000. I'll now go on to the second question. The map is drawn to a scale of 1 is to 50,000. So we need to find the actual length represented by 2 cm on the map, giving my answer in kilometers. Now for this question, the map scale given is actually quite large. Okay, so a reminder here, 1 is to 50,000 means 1 cm on the map represents 50,000 cm on actual ground. Now the question wants us to find the actual length that is represented by 2 cm on the map and to give our answer in kilometers. So I'm going to show two ways where you can go about this question. The first way is to simply change and find my answer first. So the map scale is 1:50,000. I will have 1 cm is to 50,000 cm. So 2 cm will give me 100,000 cm. So once I have my answer in cm for the actual length that is represented by 2 cm on the map, I can now change this 100,000 cm. I will now divide it by 100,000 to change the cm to kilometers. Okay, the reason why I divide by this, I have actually done the conversion earlier in the earlier question. So 1 kilometers is 1,000 meter. 1 meter, 100 cm. So this together will give me 1 kilometer, 100,000 cm. So if I want to convert from cm to kilometers, I have to divide by 100,000. So 2 cm would now be 1 kilometer. So the actual length that is represented by 2 cm on the map is 1 kilometers. So I'm going to show a second method. Now in the second method, we can actually choose to convert 1 cm is to 50,000 cm, okay, into kilometers first. So 1 cm will be 50,000 divided by 100,000 kilometers. Notice that I have written my units in to make it very clear what units I am using. So once I have 1 cm is to 0.5 kilometers, I can now find my answer, which is still 1 kilometers. Now there are pros and cons for this two different methods that I've shown. Generally, if the question wants me to be working in kilometers, I might be able to keep the numbers a bit smaller by first changing the cm to the required kilometers, and then before I continue with my working. Let's look at part 2. They want us to calculate the length on the map that represents an actual length of 14.5 kilometers. So I will be making use of what I have found in part 1. So since 2 cm is to 1 kilometer, I can easily multiply both sides of the ratio by 14.5 to give me 29 cm. So the length on the map would be 29 cm. So I need to remember to answer the question. So this is it for practice now 12 of the textbook.